everyone, and welcome to the University of Oklahoma. We're so excited to see you this morning. My name is Stephanie Bittner. I'm the Executive Director for Advancement in the Mewbourne College of Earth and Energy, and it's my privilege to welcome you to the Sarkeys Energy Plaza. Normally, we would have you on campus so that we could celebrate together this exciting project and all these opportunities. But it's an interesting time and we're going to keep everybody safe, so we've designed a really fun program that you're going to enjoy this morning. You're going to get to hear from students and the dean, from some directors and faculty. We're going to show you some really cool projects that are going to be happening on this plaza. We think you're going to enjoy it. So grab your 6th cup of coffee this morning, curl up on your couch and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Faith Thompson and I am a sophomore majoring in geology.
Hi, I'm Steve Adams. I study geology. I'm a third-year PhD student.
Hi, my name is Aditi Singh and I'm a third-year PhD student in geography. We are here to tell you all about the Sarkeys Energy Center Plaza renovation.
We'll be your host today, telling you about proposed changes from faculty, staff, and
I hope
us.
you enjoy learning about our plans to change this space into an experiential learning lab that not only retains, but also recruits students, draws more people to campus, and help us share our love of earth and energy with people young and old.
I'd like to introduce Dr. Lynn Sorgan, Director of the Mewbourne College of Earth and Energy, School of Geosciences. Dr. Sorgan is going to give us an overview of the project.
Hi, I'm Lynn Sorgan, Professor of Geology and Director of Geosciences at OU. I'm originally from California, and I was fascinated and a bit shaken by growing up on a plate boundary. Then I came to Oklahoma, and I realized that Oklahoma has amazing geology because it harbors more than one plate boundary. It's just that they're old and a bit worn down and hidden. Owing to this, you have to drive more than an hour from our campus in Norman to see some of Oklahoma's remarkable geology, something we can't do in an afternoon lab session. So when the massive construction to repair our building's roof began, it presented an opportunity to redesign the landscape to create a unique outdoor classroom of use to both OU students and the community. Several geoscience departments around the country have versions of outdoor classrooms. Most consist of rock gardens, showcasing boulders of geologic importance from the area. But we're envisioning an outdoor classroom that moves well beyond a boulder garden. We want to create a beautiful educational space that can enable students to envision stratigraphic sections that showcase Oklahoma geology and structures that enable students to practice 3D thinking for real. Imagine if in the load-bearing peripheries of the building, we could construct life-size stratigraphic columns and illustrate concepts of unconformities and anticlines. And if in the central areas, we could arrange rocks to enable students to create a geologic map. Imagine if we showcased specimens representing not just Oklahoma, but the major provinces of North American geology. We could create a learning space useful to everyone, OU students who are majors and non-majors, children and their parents of the community. We still want to take students into the field, but this type of advanced outdoor learning space could provide invaluable preparation that would enable students to hit the ground running when they do get in the field. And for students who are physically challenged, this type of space helps us overcome accessibility limitations to provide a great learning experience for everyone.
Now, Dr. Bruce Hoagland from the College of Atmospheric and Geographic Sciences, Department of Geography and Environmental Sustainability, will be discussing Jennifer Weiss Butterfly Garden with space designer, landscape architect, and assistant professor at Christopher Gibbs College of Architecture, Dr. Brett Bettner.
Hello, I'm Bruce Hoagland. I want to welcome you to the future site of the Jennifer Weiss Butterfly and Pollinator Garden. This is Brett Bettner, landscape architect. And what we want to do is give you some idea of our vision for this particular space. As I mentioned, this is the Jennifer Weiss Butterfly Garden. It's named after a former staff member at the College of Geosciences. Jennifer Weiss was the manager of operations and administration in the college. I had the honor of knowing her for a while. She was wonderful, very warm human being. And so, unfortunately, she passed suddenly in 2000. And members of the college got together and dedicated a garden space to her. And in honoring her memory, this space will be rededicated as the Jennifer Weiss Butterfly Garden. And the goal is to try to provide educational opportunities for students on and off campus to better, to heighten their awareness of the declining numbers of pollinator species and their importance both ecologically and economically to Oklahoma and the region. And to accomplish that, our plants in this space will be native species that are utilized by pollinators. And kind of the iconic species for this is the monarch butterfly. Monarch butterfly has declined dramatically in recent years for a number of reasons, but it's considered an imperiled phenomenon, by which I mean monarchs migrate from the northern U.S. To Mexico in the winter months, and that migration could end in the next few decades. And so, in addition to having this focus on native plantings, some of the educational components will be facilitated by participation from the Chickasaw Nation. The Chickasaw Nation Cultural Center, some of their personnel have been involved in the planning, and the Tribal Alliance for Pollinators also is engaging with us to provide plant materials and educational information. So we really feel that this will be an opportunity, as I said earlier, not only for people on campus, but off campus to understand this plight that besets pollinating species currently. But we also want it to be an attractive space, and that is where a plan developed by Brett has been instrumental. And I'll let Brett tell you about how this space will be laid out.
Thank you, Bruce. The design team and I believe that this will be one of the standout locations on this rooftop, primarily because it will offer a variety of seating areas, several spaces that will represent the flora of Oklahoma and native plant species, as Professor Hoagland has said. Several benches will be located. These are stone constructed benches for students and for visitors to sit. There's potential that even a class could sit out here and disperse throughout the stones. One of the highlights of the site, I believe, is that it is one of the shadier locations. As you can see, we're in a nice shaded spot on a roof here in Oklahoma, and we're really enjoying it out here this morning, and I think others will as well.
Dr. Molly Junker with the Oklahoma Geological Survey will now tell us how this space will inspire future scientists and engineers and what we're doing to keep kids involved at all ages.
Hi, my name is Molly Junker. I'm the Education and Outreach Coordinator at the Oklahoma Geological Survey. I've enjoyed being involved in this project from the beginning, helping to bring together some of the ideas from the faculty and staff in the college. We've been able to create a plan to balance the needs of the Mewbourne College of Earth and Energy faculty with the educational goals for K-12 students, teachers, and visitors to OU's campus. The Sarkeys Energy Center Plaza is a perfect destination for the numerous and diverse students and educators who visit our departments each year. Every year, the Oklahoma Geological Survey, along with students in Mewbourne College, provide outreach experiences to thousands of K-12 students. Much of that occurs off campus in schools all around the state, but a great deal of the outreach is right here in the Sarkeys Energy Center. Each semester, we see hundreds of budding geoscientists visit us for a geology experience through OU's Admissions and Recruitment Office. Typically, the entirety of the geology experience has taken place within the four walls of the building. It can be a struggle to find outdoor locations that support learning experiences within the time frame of a quick visit to campus, but with the SEC Plaza project, that barrier will soon be removed. We plan to develop cross-disciplinary learning experiences that students can engage in during their visit to the outdoor plaza. This will integrate technology, such as QR codes on signage, allowing students to explore the plaza individually or in small groups, view pictures and maps showing the source of the geological components, diagrams and representations of structures, and even images of thin sections of rocks that represent regions across the U.S. Intentionally placed picnic tables and seating will allow small groups of students or campus visitors to sit amongst the geology, explore it firsthand, and gain a deeper understanding of basic geology concepts through well-developed activities and curated information. We also plan to bring groups of K-12 Oklahoma teachers to campus for professional development experiences. This will support their learning in the geosciences while raising awareness of the numerous resources our building has to offer, both inside and outside. These types of experiences will help spread the word about our exciting new educational plaza and increase our visibility in the community. The beauty of the Sarkeys Plaza is in the design, which began not with the appearance in mind, but rather with intended uses, foundational concepts, and desired educational experiences at the forefront. Each region of the plaza has been carefully considered as to how it will help visitors of all ages and students from kindergarten all the way through to graduate school to develop a deeper understanding of our physical world. We can't wait for you to join us.
Next, we're going to Dr. Shannon Doolin and Gail Holloway. They're going to tell us about a walkable map.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Doolin. I'm an assistant professor of geology in the School of Geosciences. I'm very excited to be a part of the renovation of the plaza level because it's given us the chance to create installations that are going to be both beautiful and provide learning opportunities for our students and also the public. The geoscape is going to be here in the southeast quadrant of the plaza level. It's going to be used for many undergraduate classes. Gail Holloway will be developing undergrad intro level laboratories that will use the geoscape to introduce the concepts of geologic maps and how geologic map contacts interact with each other. So students, instead of just seeing this on a two-dimensional paper map, will get to walk out here and start to see it in real life and maybe build some of those 3D visualization skills that we really want students to have to be good geologists. So we'll go on from our introductory geology classes and continue to investigate these 2D, 3D transitional relationships in upper division classes like field methods, which I also teach. We're going to map these 2D simplified structures that will be here in the geoscape. We'll have an anticline-syncline pair. We'll have an intrusive volcanic complex, and then we're going to have a fault that will offset some of these contacts. So these contacts are going to be made out of different colors of gravel and self-contained, but they'll also have examples of different rock types within them. So students can also do descriptions as well as the mapping. So the challenge in teaching geology is really spanning that 2D to 3D transition in visualization, taking things on a geologic map and creating cross sections and understanding what then that looks like in the real world. So this geoscape is going to help these students quickly begin to understand those geologic relationships much better than without the geoscape. So I'm also the director of Bartell Field Camp. My job is to prepare students for their careers as geologists. The skills of observing, collecting data, and then interpreting that data will begin right here in the geoscape in many of their undergraduate classes. And then it's going to culminate at field camp, where we go on and look at more complex structural locations and try to prepare 3D visualization and cross sections of those complex locations that they'll see in real life as they work as geologists in any industry or field. So OU students are going to leave our school with this strong fundamental understanding of geological mapping and structural interpretation that begins here on the plaza level. We hope to turn this northeast quadrant of the plaza level of Sarkeys Energy Center into a two-dimensional geologic map. This 2D geologic map will be made up of different colors of gravel interdispersed with different boulder types. And therefore students can look at this area on many different levels, both in introductory geology all the way through field methods in their junior and senior years. The different gravels will be organized such that they make a geologic map that shows many important concepts, like a cross-cutting fault and cross-cutting relationships. We'll have an igneous intrusion. We'll have an anticline and syncline pair. And we'll even have a stream that shows the rule of V's. Once students have mapped this first and continue on through the program, we'll be taking these concepts and making more complex cross-sections and comparing those to real-world examples that students will see, and even some that students will map at field camp.
Hello, my name is Gail Holloway and I'm an instructor in the School of Geosciences. My teaching responsibilities center around introductory students. I teach a major and a non-major section each semester, and I'm in charge of all of the introductory labs. In a typical semester, about 400 students are enrolled in these labs, most of whom have a limited science background and even less previous exposure to the earth sciences. For them, it is important that we connect topics to their lives and their majors, and that we present the material using multiple methodologies. Students identify rocks using hand samples in the classroom. Then the geoscape walkable map would help to reinforce these identifications while showing that these rocks are actual layers in the earth and not just a rock on the table. This gives them the larger framework of the connected interacting layers, just the way the earth actually works. And for most of these students, the introductory class is their first exposure to fieldwork. However, while many of the classes do take students out in the field as part of the course, most students aren't required to do much geologic mapping until introductory to field or even field camp itself. The labs for Geology 1114 teach students about topographic and geologic maps, but students typically aren't required to create their own versions of either type of map. As a result, students have difficulty connecting the maps they see in the lab to the actual geology in the field. The geoscape exercise helps them to make this connection. They see the rocks out in the field. On the geoscape exercise, they can relate it back to what they've seen in the labs, relate it back to the maps themselves, and help them visualize how the geology actually works in real life. This also allows them to practice the mapping skills in a more controlled, simplistic environment before they are required to do much more complex geology in, quote, the real world. In addition, I'm also the undergraduate recruiter for the department. This type of space distinguishes us from other schools in its uniqueness. It is not only visually appealing, it is also functional and educational. It gives the students a definite example of the work they will be doing while at OU, while allowing their parents to envision their child as part of the program and the discipline.
Dr. Shannon Doolin and I are going to tell you about the boulders that will extend through the plaza.
Each of these boulders will have a QR code on a plaque next to it, and by scanning that QR code with your phone, it can take you to a web page that can have multiple things on it. So either a map of where the rock came from, maybe info about, say, the mine that our ore minerals came from in Leadville. We can also have links to thin sections and even more detailed geologic information for use in classes. I teach Earth history, and I know that I would definitely use this area of the plaza to talk about things that we're not going to get to see, say rocks from building the Appalachian Mountains. So if we have examples of those boulders, we can teach students about how they all interconnect, plate tectonically, geomorphologically, and also give students an observational skill set by getting them out on the rocks to make descriptions. This is going to be great, not just for students, but for the public too, and create a real interest in geology in this super amazing space that we have available to create this Boulders of North America tour.
These boulders provide the opportunity to make outcrop scale observations on rocks students wouldn't normally see in the classroom.
Dr. Matt Printer and PhD student Javier Tez will now be discussing and explaining how this project will provide experiential learning opportunities to the students studying petroleum engineering and petroleum geology.
Hi, I'm Javier Telles. I'm a doctoral candidate in the School of Geosciences.
And I'm Matt Pranter. I'm a professor in the School of Geosciences and the Mewbourne College of Earth and Energy.
The beautiful new plaza renovation with many displays will be a significant benefit to the students of Petroleum Geosciences and Petroleum Engineering.
The School of Geosciences, Mewbourne School of Petroleum and Geological Engineering, and the Oklahoma Geological Survey have built a global reputation in petroleum research and education spanning more than 100 years. In fact, OU is home to the world's first school of petroleum geology. This unique outdoor classroom will be a major recruiting tool for many new petroleum engineering and geoscience students to come, from the U.S. and internationally.
A student coming to the University of Oklahoma from out of state or even from another country, such as myself, will have the exceptional opportunity to learn and collaborate with like-minded scholars to solve the many exciting mysteries within the geosciences. Visiting students and their family members will be able to walk through billions of years of history, sparking their curiosity of Earth's natural process and resources.
OU is in the heart of a major petroleum province and is surrounded by several active petroleum plays. Many of the key rock formations that form petroleum reservoirs in our state will be represented in this outdoor laboratory for students to study and interpret. This remarkable plaza display will consist of several slabs of rock which represent geologic periods through time. It will illustrate the significant tectonic and geological evolution of the mid-continent and other areas which created our main petroleum provinces.
The displays will be informative to students, visitors, and industry recruiters as they will creatively illustrate Oklahoma's stratigraphy and represent unique geological structures that often trap petroleum in the subsurface.
Javier and I instruct undergraduate and graduate courses for our petroleum engineering and geoscience students, and this resourceful outdoor setting will definitely aid in student engagement and retention by capturing their imagination and will help them to envision subsurface geological features in 3 dimensions. The displays will give students a chance to visualize the geological complexities of these plays and further highlight the state as one of the nation's leading energy producers.
The various petroleum engineering courses will have direct ties with the plaza exhibits while also being reinforced with unmatched field experiences. Our students want to stay throughout our high-quality program as it presents them with new and exciting possibilities for multidisciplinary collaboration with our leading faculty and researchers. These practical opportunities make our graduating students among the nation's leading earth scientists and engineers.
The Mewbourne College of Earth and Energy students are highly sought after by the top energy and engineering companies.
Dr. Brett Carpenter will talk to us next about how this space will help the students in his geology courses.
Hi, my name is Brett Carpenter. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Geosciences. I teach a variety of courses at all levels that include physical geology for science and engineering majors, structural geology for geoscience majors, and structural geology and stratigraphy for petroleum engineers. I would like to take a few minutes to tell you why I'm excited about the Sarkeys Plaza renovation and how I would use it. While there are many aspects of the design I'm excited about, there are a few specific items I would like to touch on today. First, the U.S. geoscape, where boulders from across the nation will be placed on the southern part of the plaza in a layout that reflects their geographic location. The United States has some amazing geology, and not all of our students or visitors to campus have had a chance to experience it all. We will place different boulders with information digitally accessible so that the geology of the U.S. can be perused in an afternoon at Sarkeys Plaza. I'm excited to use this part of the renovation when teaching physical geology, as the 3 rock types form a key part of its curriculum. Second, on the northwestern part of the plaza, there will be a geologic map of Oklahoma with rocks collected that placed in their representative geologic areas, i.e. granite from the Wichita Mountains. Students and visitors alike will be able to observe geology from the Panhandle to the Wichita Mountains in a matter of minutes. I'm eager to use this resource in all my classes. And third, the Oklahoma stratigraphic section. The precise location of this display is still being determined, but it will likely be on the western side of the plaza. In this part of the plaza, we will place dipping rock slabs in order they were deposited in the state. Oklahoma has had a tortured tectonic history that gives us beautiful mountains, hydrocarbon-rich rocks that help the state's economy, and the red soil that is seen all over the state. This history can be told through the deposited geologic formations. I will use this display and the mapping exercise in my structural geology classes. It's not always logistically easy to get to the exposed rocks. I need to teach. The renovation of Sarkeys Plaza will put those rocks right outside the building. It will allow me to give students hands-on experience taking measurement and inferring structures before we go to the field, and it will serve as a great substitute for the times that we can't get into the field. The renovation project as a whole will allow students of all levels to gain hands-on experience, both practicing techniques while on campus and other observational methods. This allows for skills to be taught, practiced, and reviewed in short order without the need for leaving campus. This will allow me to teach more advanced skills once we get into the field. I know the renovation will help aid in student retention by getting students of all academic levels hands-on experience and access to resources few geosciences programs have. I have few doubts the Sarkeys Energy Center will become a place to visit in Norman. I've had the pleasure of traveling all over the state and found many Oklahomans who are knowledgeable and interested in the state's geology. The plaza would certainly be of interest to them.
My name is Faith Thompson. I'm a sophomore studying geology. When I graduate, I would like to go to law school and eventually practice environmental and energy law. A renovated Sarkeys Energy Center rooftop would have many benefits to me as a student. As a kid, it would have helped to pique my interest more in geology. As a student, it would have helped me immensely in my first geology classes. I did not firmly grasp these concepts until I went into the field. Getting the chance to step outside and see all of this would be greatly beneficial. I think the mimicked outcrops in stratigraphy will be especially helpful to underclassmen. In geology, visual representation is so important. Having this on campus is sure to inspire future geoscientists and help prepare students like me to succeed in the program.
I'm sorry that we won't be able to do a real groundbreaking, but when you donate to the Sarkeys Energy Center Plaza renovation project, we'll send you a little gold shovel so that you can do your own groundbreaking and take a photo to share with us so that we can celebrate trying to make this a reality for our students. And you can use it as a spoon.
Let's go to Dean Stice.
Well, as you've heard from all the principals here who have put a lot of time and effort in trying to design a rooftop here at Sarkeys Energy Center that would be beyond aesthetics. It would be a learning lab. You know, here at the University of Oklahoma, we've differentiated ourselves from many of our peers by giving people hands-on knowledge. And this practical setting that we're talking about creating here at Sarkeys will be one of the attractions that will help us recruit and retain students, but moreover, just draw traffic from the rest of the university to come and see all the great things that are happening here at Sarkeys Energy Center. All three departments here in Sarkeys are going to benefit from this program: the School of Geosciences, the Mewbourne School of Petroleum and Geological Engineering, and of course our own Oklahoma Geological Survey. We're really excited about this opportunity. We look forward to you participating and helping us make the Sarkeys Energy Center truly great.